Hey, it's Dan Denley, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can take one simple C chord in open position, and just by changing a few notes you'll be able to turn it into 5 different chords. And the cool thing is, once you understand these basic principles, you should be able to apply the same concepts to all the major chords that you know. And that'll give you a lot more options for playing chords. And generally speaking, more options equals more fun. I mean, imagine if there were only 2 flavors of ice cream, chocolate and vanilla. That would get old pretty fast, right? Well, the same is true for playing guitar chords. The more chords you know, the more options you have, and ultimately, the more fun it is to play. So let's jump in and get started. You've probably seen this chord before, right? Well, it's a plain old C major chord in open position. And that just means that it uses open strings. Well, if you drop out this note, you'll be playing a C major 7, which is a pretty smooth sounding chord, especially if you're going for a mellow jazz sound. Now, if you take that C major chord and you move this note up a half step and you keep everything else the same, you'll be playing a C sus4. And in case you were wondering, the sus stands for suspension, because most of the time the suspended fourth resolves down. And in practical terms, that means you would generally play the C sus4 followed by a regular C chord. Now, if that's confusing, don't worry. Once you play the C sus4 followed by the C chord, it'll make perfect sense. Now, if you take the C chord and you move this note from here to here, and you play the G here on the 6th string, then you'll be playing a C add 9. And it's called an add chord because we've added one extra note into the chord, the interval of a ninth. And that's what makes it an add chord instead of a sus chord. With sus chords, you're actually replacing one of the regular notes, usually the 2nd or the 4th, which gives you a sus2 or 4. With add chords, you're actually adding an additional note that's not usually in the chord, and that's why they're called add chords. Now, if we start our C chord and add the interval of a 6th, then presto, you've got yourself a C6 chord, which is sometimes written like this. This means that you'll have all the notes of the C major chord, but now you've added the interval of a major 6th. So what exactly are 6 chords? They're just plain old major chords with one extra note, which happens to be the interval of a 6th because it's 6 notes up from the C in the C scale. And finally, if you take the C6 and add this note, you've got a C6-9, which is one of my favorite all-time chords because, well, it just sounds so cool. So to recap, we started out with a simple C chord in open position. Then we dropped out a note and we came up with a C major 7. Then we took a regular old C chord, moved the E note to an F, and we got a C sus4. Then we learned about add chords, which are pretty straightforward. All you do is take the regular chord like C and add the interval of a ninth, and you got a C add 9. If you take a regular old C chord and add the interval of a major 6th, then you get a C6. And if you add the interval of a ninth, you got a C6-9, which is arguably the most important chord in Latin-style guitar. Well, all that's cool, right? But how do you actually use these chords? Well, it's simple. All these chords can be substituted for a major chord with the same root note, which simply means that whenever you play a C major chord, you can replace it with a C major 7, a C sus4, a C add 9, C6, or C6-9. And the reason is because all these chord variations share the same root note and quality. In other words, they're all major chords with just a few alterations. So if you know any chord progressions or songs that use a C major chord, feel free to mix it up and replace that old C chord with one of the chords that we just discussed. And that's the real power of all this. Once you get it, you'll have tons of options, so you'll never get bored playing your guitar again. And having fun is the whole reason we started playing in the first place, right? Now, another huge benefit to really understanding these chords is that you'll be able to learn new songs faster because you'll be able to recognize the chords and you'll already know how to fret them. And the amazing thing is, once you understand how to apply these concepts to just one chord, you can do it for all the major chords that you know across the entire fretboard. And your understanding of chords, theory, and the entire fretboard will skyrocket to a whole new level. And that's exactly why I created my Beyond Basic Chords training program. It's a simple, step-by-step online training program that teaches you a whole lot of new chords and, more importantly, how to use them in your everyday playing. In this course, we're going to cover sus2, sus4, bar chords, add chords like add 9, 6 chords, 6/9 chords, half diminished chords, also called minor 7 flat 5 chords, 7th chords including major, minor, dominant, and minor major, which are kind of weird by the way, dominant ninths, which are super important in blues and jazz, as well as dominant 11ths and 13ths, and another chord called a dominant 7th sus4. And by the time you've completed this training, you'll have mastered a whole new set of powerful chords that most guitarists will never know. You'll not only be able to play these new chords, you'll also understand why they're called what they are, and you'll know how to use them in songs and progressions that you already know, which will instantly make playing the old, boring stuff fun again. And unlike some of my guitar courses that are huge and in-depth, this is a little different. There are 24 sample chord progressions using these different chords. That way you'll learn some new songs as you're learning these new chords and how to apply them. And you should be able to watch all the videos, learn all the new chords and progressions in just a couple of weeks. So this isn't something that's going to take you months and months to complete. As soon as you watch the first video, you'll already have learned something new, and that is a great feeling. Now, all the training videos are online inside a password-protected website, so you can watch them any time of the day or night from any computer in the world as long as it's connected to the internet. But you will need to have a fast internet connection like DSL or cable because these videos are big and high quality. And of course, I've given you all the chords and fretboard diagrams in one nice downloadable PDF file so you'll know exactly where to place your fingers, you'll never get lost, and you can easily follow along with each video example. And because all the training is online, there's no shipping cost, your package won't get lost in the mail, and you can access all the training right now as soon as your registration is complete. And by the time you complete this training, you'll be able to play a ton of new chords, you'll have a new understanding of the fretboard, and you'll not only understand what these chords are and how to apply them, but you'll also understand why chords are named the way they are and exactly which notes are in them. And with your new understanding of chords, you'll be able to take songs that you already know and spice them up, which will make playing instantly fun again. And you'll have a level of understanding that goes way beyond the basics and into a world of exciting new chords and sounds, which will really help you out if you enjoy making up your own songs or writing your own music. Now, this course is definitely not for the absolute beginner. So if you just got your guitar last week, then you'll want to give this a pass. But if you can play a few basic chords and even just a couple of songs, then this training is definitely for you. And it will help you because it'll give you tons of options, and like I mentioned before, options means more fun. Now, you might be worried about the cost. Well, I gotta tell you, there aren't many people teaching this stuff, and the reason is simple. Not many folks really understand it themselves. And to be perfectly honest, the light bulb didn't really come on for me until I had studied classical music theory and spent over $60,000 on a 4-year degree in music. But of course, it's not going to cost you anywhere near 60 grand, and it's definitely not going to take you 4 years to learn this stuff. Because I'm going to filter out all the theory mumbo jumbo and just give you the practical stuff that you need so you can start seeing a real difference in your playing right away. Of course, you could sign up for Berklee's online Chords 101 course and probably learn this stuff, but that's going to set you back almost $1,000. Good googly moogly. And you could take private lessons, which is a good thing, by the way, but a decent teacher is going to charge you around $50 an hour. And if you could cram everything you're going to learn in this course into a month's worth of lessons, you'd still be looking at about $200 for the same training. And that's if you could find someone who actually knows this stuff well enough to explain it to you, not to mention the hassle of scheduling and driving to and from lessons. But this course isn't even going to cost you $200. In fact, you won't even pay half that. The cost of Beyond Basic Chords is only one payment of $39.95, but it gets a little sweeter. Because if you sign up today, you can try the entire course with nothing held back, free for 14 days. Here's how it works. Sign up for Beyond Basic Chords today and you'll owe nothing. You'll get instant access to all the training videos, which means you could literally log in and start watching the first video in just minutes from now. Then take up to 14 days to decide if this powerful training is right for you. If not, no problem. Just fill out a simple cancellation request before the 14th day and your card will not be charged. But you know what? I'm so confident that this will work for you that I'll give you another 2 weeks after your trial period ends to make your final decision. That way, if you get busy or if something comes up where you're not able to properly evaluate this training during the 14-day trial period, you'll still have another 2 weeks to make up your mind. And if you ultimately decide this training is not for you, again, no problem. Just let us know and we'll issue you a fast, friendly refund, no questions asked, and no receipt required. And just to make things a little sweeter, I'm offering a killer fast mover bonus. The first 100 people to respond to this video will automatically receive my Major Scale Mastery course, a $77 value, absolutely free. In this online video training course, I teach you everything you need to know about the major scale, including how to play it in all 7 positions. I'll also explain the 7 modes and how they're related to the major scale, as well as practical ways to use them in your solos. The major scale is one of the top 3 things you need to know as a guitarist because it's like the center of everything. Because not only can you alter the major scale to produce the minor and pentatonic scales, but all chords can be directly related back to the scales. So this free fast mover bonus will just enhance what you'll be learning in Beyond Basic Chords. And you'll receive Major Scale Mastery, a $77 value, absolutely free if you're one of the first 100 people to respond to this video. So just to recap, Beyond Basic Chords is an online training program that will have you playing all kinds of amazing new chords in just a couple of weeks. You'll learn all about sus and add chords, sevenths, extended chords, and a whole lot more. You'll learn how to pronounce and recognize these chords when you see them in songs and chord charts. You'll learn how to play these chords and why they're called what they are and how to apply them in songs and progressions that you already know, which will instantly make playing fun again. You'll have an understanding of music theory that most guitarists never will, and you'll be able to learn new songs quicker and easier because you'll be able to recognize the chords faster, which will help you shortcut your way to building up a huge repertoire. And you get a 14-day free trial, which means you get instant access to all the training as soon as your registration is complete, but you won't pay a dime today. Then if you do decide to stay past the 14-day trial period, you still get an additional 2 weeks to make your final decision. And that means you can request a full refund up to 30 days from the start of your free trial. Now, I don't know about you, but I get nervous when I sign up for free trials because I never know if I'll actually be able to contact somebody if I want to cancel or ask for a refund. So I'm going to put all of the responsibilities squarely on my shoulders and tell you exactly how to contact us if you have any questions. Simply go to guitarhelp.net. And that will automatically redirect you to our online help desk where you can contact us and get the help you need. Now, I don't know how I can be any more fair and upfront than that. So here's what to do next. Sign up for your free 14-day trial of Beyond Basic Chords right now. You'll receive your login information right away. Then you can start watching the first video from the course in just minutes from now. Please stand by because you're being automatically redirected to our secure order form where you can start your free trial right now.